be a Caitlin Clark fan at this point as a black person. This is what is being said to us. How you can't root for Caitlin Clark? I'm not making it up. There's people who are just blatantly telling us we can't enjoy a white basketball player.
That isn't a throwaway comment or a harmless opinion. It's a line being drawn in the sand, a signal sent loud and clear to an entire group of fans telling them they've crossed into territory they're supposedly not allowed to occupy. We've somehow arrived at a moment in WNBA fandom where race is being used as a gatekeeper, where the color of your skin is being treated as a filter for which players you're allowed to cheer for and which ones you're expected to ignore. And before this gets brushed off as internet noise or people being overly sensitive, understand this isn't isolated. This message is spreading, being echoed and reinforced across social media by thousands of accounts in real time. So the real issue isn't whether this is happening anymore, that part is undeniable. The real question is how the culture around women's basketball drifted to this point, and what this mindset means for the league's growth, its fan base, and its future. Listen closely to what's actually being demanded here. Black men are being told to read the room, to quiet their voices, to downplay which players they enjoy watching, to hide genuine appreciation for elite performances because there's supposedly a bigger moral test happening. The argument gets framed like this. Angel Reese has been under fire for 3 years, so praising Caitlin Clark right now is painted as a betrayal of black women in the league. But that logic collapses the moment you really examine it. It ignores context, it ignores nuance, and it ignores reality. LeBron James himself publicly congratulated Clark after a dominant performance, and no one accused him of turning his back on anyone. Appreciation isn't allegiance, and celebrating greatness isn't an act of disloyalty. Turning fandom into a loyalty check doesn't protect players. It fractures the audience and poisons the conversation.
Listen to this. Just listen to this.
Messages for my fellas. Look, read the room, please. Please read the room. When it comes to this situation with the WNBA, like, if you got something to say about her, I get it. But right now ain't the time to talk about how much you love her.
Why not? We're talking about the game. Y'all keep talking about everything else. Y'all keep talking about everything else but the games. We are talking about,
performance.
Listen.
That's it. Good game, daughter. 3 words. But the reaction didn't land as simple praise. It ignited fury. The suggestion was clear. A black athlete applauding a white player amid controversy meant picking the wrong side. RG3 endured the same storm just for recognizing Clark's skill. These weren't casual fans tweeting in the moment. These were respected black athletes being scolded, told their public support came at the wrong, unacceptable time, and the tension rippled through the entire WNBA world. Now, suddenly, we're being told that watching Caitlin Clark highlights has to be done in secret, that enjoying her brilliance means glancing over your shoulder, afraid someone will notice. The absurdity is glaring, yet the story has taken hold. The claim hinges on the idea that white players somehow get a systemic advantage, more media attention, fatter endorsement deals, louder fan support. And sure, there's data worth unpacking. Clark's Nike contract? The biggest ever for a WNBA rookie, no matter the color of her skin. Her Time magazine cover? It ignited fierce debates about whether black players with equal, or even better, numbers ever get that same spotlight.
Talking about, man?
This ain't the time for that. Watch the game and keep it moving. RG3.
So now we have to be fans in silence. Now we have to pretend like we have to watch the games and make sure nobody's looking. Ain't nobody see me looking at these Caitlin Clark highlights, do they? Now we got to do that. We got to sneak and look at our phone and make sure ain't nobody around. Come on, man. Stop it, man. Stop it.
This ain't the time for you talking about ain't you hating her. This ain't the time. Even though I don't believe it to be true. And even if it is, this ain't the time for that.
Those are valid conversations. Questions about media representation and marketing in women's basketball deserve attention. But here's where the argument collapses. Telling fans they cannot enjoy a player's performance because of racial politics doesn't fix systemic problems. It only breeds frustration, alienates supporters, and risks driving people away from the sport they love entirely. This leap into comparing basketball fandom to relationship dynamics is where the whole argument derails. We're not talking about dating choices or personal loyalties, we're talking about watching basketball. Claiming that men who praise white female athletes are somehow failing to protect black women mixes completely separate issues. And look at the lens being applied. It's no longer about analyzing the game, it's about loyalty tests, proving your side by publicly cheering some players while criticizing or staying silent on others. That isn't fandom, it's political theater. And for the WNBA, this is especially harmful. The league has spent decades trying to expand its fan base, trying to draw casual viewers in.
If you putting out stuff about her and you not sticking up for your sister, your niece, your cousin, your daughter, that's why a lot of women say I'd rather the bear than the man.
What does women saying the bear than the man? What is it? We're not talking about relationships. We are not talking about relationships or we're talking about basketball. And this is a perfect example of why a lot of men don't even watch women's sports.
And now all of that effort risks being overshadowed by these manufactured controversies. Instead of celebrating the skill, the drama, the buzzer beaters that should unite fans, the conversation shifts to who you're allowed to cheer for, turning every highlight into a minefield. The energy that should be about the thrill of the game gets siphoned into debates over optics and allegiances, leaving both players and fans caught in a cycle of tension that has nothing to do with basketball, but everything to do with proving a point. Sports, and this context is critical. In men's basketball, fans celebrate talent without hesitation, no matter race or nationality. Nikola Jokic from Serbia? Widely regarded as the best player in the NBA today, three-time MVP, white, European, and black fans cheer his brilliance constantly because he's simply extraordinary on the court. Luka Doncic is another clear example. When the Dallas Mavericks drafted him, skepticism bubbled up in some corners, but once fans saw his game, all doubt vanished. He's now one of the league's most beloved stars, his jersey flying off shelves worldwide, his highlights dominating social media. No one questions whether it's appropriate for black fans to marvel at his step-back threes or court vision. Cooper Flagg is projected as the top pick in the 2025 NBA draft, poised to be the first American-born white player selected, and yet the admiration he'll earn is expected, unquestioned, universal.
Don't want nothing to do with women in sports. Don't want women there when they watched it. This is why a lot of men don't even want to deal with women in sport, because what we do, we watch a game and talk like we in the barber shop. He's whack. No, I like him. It don't matter your skin color. It don't matter. If you ask, I would say if you ask 90% of black men that are being honest, who are NBA fans, who's the best player in the NBA? Some people, we all, we have the Mike LeBron debate, but LeBron's older now, so we don't really think he's the best currently. We have no problem saying, hey, I think Jokic is the best player in the league. He's from Serbia. He's white. We don't care. We don't care. We love Luka. We love Luka. We all bombed on the Dallas Mavericks for getting rid of Luka. He's white from overseas.
First overall since 1977, almost half a century. And the reaction from black basketball fans? Pure excitement. They celebrate him for his talent, his intensity, his trash talk, his elite-level competitiveness. It's all about the game. No one is arguing that Dylan Harper deserves the pick simply because he's black. The conversation is straightforward. Who's the better basketball player, and nothing more. This exposes the fundamental flaw of injecting racial politics into sports fandom. It strips away the very essence of what makes the game electrifying, the pure meritocracy of performance. When a player sinks a game winner, threads an impossible pass, or makes a defensive play that flips momentum, no one's mind is tallying demographics. They're reacting to sheer brilliance. Caitlin Clark pulls up from 38 feet off the dribble, draining contested threes with alarming consistency. That kind of skill is rare in either women's or men's basketball. It's exceptional, and fans celebrate it the same way they would any athlete accomplishing the extraordinary. Yet now, some argue that openly admiring that brilliance is somehow controversial, overshadowed by larger systemic debates about how the game and its stars are perceived.
None of us are mad that he's white and gonna be a number one. Like, it's just crazy. This is why a lot of men don't even deal with women in sports. I'm just being honest with you.
One that looks like you, because it's bigger than basketball. This situation is bigger than basketball and has been for almost 3 years now. Angel Reese deserves better. She does. So yeah, fellas, please.
So now we are at a point where we are being told as black men who we can and cannot like in sports.
Media reacts to every leak. But here's the truth about systemic issues. They demand systemic solutions. Asking individual fans to monitor or censor their own excitement doesn't alter how ESPN assigns coverage, how endorsement deals are handed out, or which players grace magazine covers. All it accomplishes is turning the fan experience into something bitter, tense, and divisive, draining the joy from watching the game itself. Situation is being treated, and it keeps surfacing as a justification for this fan gatekeeping. Yes, Angel Reese has faced intense criticism and scrutiny. The "you can't see me" gesture toward Caitlin Clark during the 2023 NCAA Championship became a flashpoint. She endured racist attacks on social media, which is completely unacceptable, and anyone engaging in that behavior deserves to be called out and banned from platforms. But here's what's being twisted. Condemning racism against Reese is not the same as telling fans they must stop praising Clark. These are entirely separate issues. You can denounce attacks on black players while still celebrating extraordinary performances by white players. They are not mutually exclusive. Framing support for Clark as a betrayal of Reese creates a false, divisive binary, implying fandom is a zero-sum game, where lifting one player means diminishing another. That's simply not how it works.
We are being told who we can and can't enjoy watching play a game. You can't like Josh Allen as a quarterback. He's white. We can't like him. We can't. Now we are being told who we can and cannot like. It's sad, man. This is sad. Y'all got to get a grip. This is sad. Y'all keep saying, oh, it's bigger at hand. Y'all are making it bigger than that hand. We talking about the sports in the game. And we gonna keep talking about the sport in the game. Y'all choose to continue to make this something else. I'm not gonna play this game
Sports
with
work.
you.
That's not how fandom works, and it's certainly not how you grow a lasting, passionate audience for women's basketball. So, where does this leave us? Because this isn't about a single video or one opinion. It reflects a deeper tension brewing within WNBA fandom for years. On one side, there are fans genuinely worried about racial equity in media coverage and marketing, concerned that some players receive disproportionate attention while others are overlooked. They see real disparities in how players are promoted and compensated, and they want the league to step up for its black athletes, who make up the majority of rosters. Those concerns are valid and deserve careful attention. On the other side, there are fans who simply want to watch basketball without being told their excitement is politically suspect. They want to celebrate extraordinary performances, no matter who delivers them, and they're frustrated by the notion that fandom must pass a racial loyalty test. The tragedy is that both sides actually want the same outcome: a thriving WNBA, fair treatment for every player, and a growing fan base that sustains the league. Yet instead of uniting around that shared goal, we're getting purity tests and gatekeeping that alienates potential fans. After decades of fighting for respect and recognition, the WNBA can't afford to lose supporters to needless division.
I'm going to like who I like. I'm going to enjoy watching who I enjoy watching, regardless of their skin color. There's plenty of black players I love watching. I'm going to continue to enjoy the game. I'm going to let y'all continue to be a part of the circus and the foolishness. I'm not gonna let you trick me into not being able to like and watch who I want to watch. I'm not gonna do that. So the sooner we can get back to the game and stop trying to make it about everything. Like she went and dove all the way to relationships. This is why women say bear the, like what do relationships? We not dating. What does relationships have to do with this? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Put down in the comments what you think. Like, comment, subscribe,
Media
share
coverage,
the channel.
securing better pay for players, and filling arenas. The 2024 season brought unprecedented attention, viewership records shattered, sold-out crowds becoming the new normal. Caitlin Clark's arrival fueled that surge, alongside the ongoing brilliance of stars like Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionis. But if new fans are told their support is only valid when filtered through racial rules, that momentum will vanish. Casual viewers will simply turn to leagues where they can enjoy the game without decoding social politics, and all players, no matter their race, will feel the sting of a shrinking fan base. Here's what needs to change. Media must offer fair coverage across the league, highlighting exceptional performances from everyone. Endorsement brands need to reward true talent, not just whoever generates the loudest buzz. And fans should be free to admire greatness wherever it appears, without accusations of betrayal. Most importantly, fandom should never be treated as a political act. When someone says they love watching Caitlin Clark play, the response shouldn't be an interrogation about whether they're also cheering for black players. It should be excitement. Who else are you watching? Did you catch what Wilson did this season? How about that own bowl performance last week? That's how you grow a fan base, create sustained interest, and ensure the WNBA thrives for decades. Not by dividing supporters along racial lines, but by celebrating the extraordinary talent on display and welcoming everyone who wants to be part of the journey. So here's the question. Does telling fans they can't support certain players because of race help or hurt the WNBA's growth? From where I'm sitting, it's doing far more harm than the narrative's promoters seem to realize. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this about the game.